Hi, I'm Bernie Jaroslow, Marketing Manager for Whitmix, and welcome to Quick Takes. You know, the past 4 or 5 months have been a trial for all dental laboratories, certainly dental offices and all of the industry, but especially dental laboratories. And many have come out of it even better off than they were. They've thrived, not just survived, and some are still maybe having a bit of a struggle. But I'm going to be talking today with one of those labs that have come back with a vengeance. At least I hope that's descriptive. Steve Killian from Killian Dental Ceramics. So let me tell you just a little bit about Steve before we begin. Steve, who is a CDT, graduated from lab school in 1973, #1 in his class. I should be very proud of that. Soon after he joined Glidewell Laboratories and became senior ceramist and general manager for 2 Glidewell labs. With his growing interest and attention to premium aesthetics and quality, he opened his own lab in 1983. Steve partnered with his brother Greg in 1985, allowing Steve to focus on the technical side while Greg focused on the administrative side of Killian Dental Ceramics, Inc. It's a 30-person CDL certified dental laboratory in Irvine, California. Steve serves on the board of the Foundation for Dental Laboratory Technology of the NADL. He was fundraising committee chair, was elected to the board of trustees, was a dental laboratory representative at large, and is an editorial advisory board member of IDT magazine. So there's a lot behind your name there, Steve. So always glad to see you, my friend. Glad you could join me.
Thanks. I'm pleasure. Thanks, Bernie.
So what I wanted to do is like chat a little bit about where you're at, where Killian Ceramics is at today compared with where you were, so that those who are watching may have a basis to compare where they are today, and just to see what our peers are doing out there. So my first question is, your business, I understand from talking to earlier, is doing better maybe than even was expected from just a few short months ago. Tell me a little bit about how that happened.
Yeah, well, surprised us. Actually, I didn't predict that we'd be doing as well as we are right now, because, you know, everybody was down in April and May. June, we started to come back. We certainly were working with a skeleton crew. We didn't close. We were open the whole time, but about early July, we're maybe up to 110% of what we were July a year ago, which was great. And I think I would attribute that to probably the backlog of implants and custom abutments. A lot of implants were waiting to be uncovered and restored, and
right.
We are so grateful for that, because implants, as you know, are more profitable in our laboratories. We've got not only the custom abutment, but all those parts we can mark up, and then the crown to make on top of that. And so
Sure.
That has been great for all of us. And so the full crew is here, and we're busy and doing well. And falling off a tiny bit here in August, but that's normal. That's more a vacation time. We hope it doesn't trend that way. We hope it comes back to our normal, but for September and October. But it is a normal level now, beginning of August. So we're not down, we're not up, we're pretty much even, maybe up a tiny bit, but it's good.
Even in the other departments, removables and
well, we are a Crown and Bridge and implant lab. We do outsource to partner laboratories for removables, and we have relationships with that. We have a little bit of that going always, and certainly implant retain removables. I'm pretty involved with that, although I don't do conversions. I'd certainly like to be doing more of those. We lost our technician retired who was doing our chair conversion, so we've kind of lost that side of the business. So trying to develop another business line that doesn't require technician to be there for very long, if at all. So I'm just hinting at the new stackable protocols such as Smile in a Box, or we'll have our own name for what we do, but that sort of thing where you have stackable drill guides and surgical guides.
You're doing a lot of printing nowadays?
We are doing more printing than ever. That is one of our comebacks and one of the big pushes we're doing in the laboratory. We're trying to get our clients to buy more intraoral scanners. So we're pushing that in our marketing materials. We do about 2 constant contact emailings a week to our clients and prospects. And we're pushing the intraoral scanner. It's a sterile workflow. The digital workflow from the dentist is sterile, coming this direction. And we're pushing that because of the COVID-19 and eliminate that risk coming into the lab. And certainly they can reduce the number of materials that need to be disinfected coming back to the laboratory. So yeah, we're excited about that. We have seen a couple more doctors actually adopt the intraoral scanning workflow protocol. So we're getting more intraoral scans than ever. We get them from all of the major scanners, Carestream, Cerac. iTero's my favorite by far. Trios is a good scanner. And True Definition, I think, is fading out now. But at any rate, yeah, that's big. In so doing, we are connected that with model printing. So we're scanning more impressions now in model printing. And we're combining that with our little Asiga Pico 2 high definition UV printer from Whitmix. It is the finest high definition little printer money can buy, I'm convinced. And so that's what we're printing. We just print master dies. It's a tiny build plate. It takes a long time. The dies are amazing. So we can load it up with 15 dies, print dies for, takes at least that long to print several models in our NextDent 5100. And that's our little model printer. So it doesn't need to be as accurate as those master dies do. So we combine those 2 workflows. So we've reduced the amount of stone models that we're doing. And so, but that's been a learning curve for us too. There's, you got to get those models right on. You got to get the scale just right. And so there's some R&D that goes along with getting your models scaled perfectly. And that's been a process, a fun one. So we've enjoyed, I like digital workflows. And, I think we've always had a crew that's been forward thinking on digital workflows. So anyway, we've got.
Well, I hear you, and you're not alone. I think, well, first of all, just literally to a person, I think, of everyone I've spoken to, they've seen an increase either of iOS, incoming work that's been done digitally, digital impressions, but talking to dentists who were thinking about getting their feet wet in digital now are diving in because for the obvious reasons, infection control and labs are very happy not to have blood and saliva, dripping off impressions. So I mean that's a plus, a win-win, as they say, for everyone. So yeah, we've seen a lot of that. Interesting.
That's how we see it. Yeah, that's how we see it. So.
Yeah, this has been a boon. Unfortunately, it's a good thing that one of the few good things that's come out of this COVID-19 thing is that we've seen a big level of interest, increased level of interest in all things digital. So that's a good thing, I guess. Kind of pushed us into the future,
Yeah, it has. We've embraced it and enjoy it. I think it's, anybody who's embraced it has, an advantage over those who haven't.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Be able to do both, and you have to be able to do, digital and analog equally as well, because we have some doctors who said, I want those milled iTero models. I don't want a printed model, or I want the stone model. I don't want a printed model.
Mm-hmm.
So,
of course.
They're those, you got to do them both well. So it can't change anybody overnight, but
that's right.
We're changing pretty quickly.
Great. Well, great to hear. Well, that's good. So what if I was a ceramist or not, or just an employee in your laboratory? What has changed for me or for anyone who works for you? What are the changes? Do you take temperatures every day? Are they required to wear masks? Did you do something physical to the layout of the lab? What have you done? Yeah, please. Thank you.
All right. So we, you know, the CDC edicts came down. We printed up all the materials, posted them on our doors. You can't enter in without a mask. We asked everybody to have the temperature taken. We bought a little, surface infrared
Right.
temperature tool, and we all take our temperatures. Oh, I forgot to take mine when I came in this morning. I'll
Uh-oh.
take it. Yeah, it goes around and and scans, like, do it yourself, scan yourself, write it down, be done with it. So we have that record. We have had a couple of people who've come near those who were infected with COVID-19 and tested positive. Those people were advised to stay home for a couple of weeks. Painful for us. Without everybody's a key person now, right?
Yes.
We're trying to manufacture efficiently, and so we don't have a lot of excess crew. And anyway,
we have the same.
But we haven't changed the layout. We cannot social distance all the time. We do social distance upstairs in our break room. We have a nice multi-purpose room upstairs. It's used for meetings, for study club meetings that we have once a month. Those have stopped, unfortunately. That's exposure for Killian when we host those study club meetings every month. That's ended. That's a lot of great exposure that we don't get. So instead of doing that, we produced 3 webinars. Two I produced personally. I learned how to use GoToWebinar software during the downtime in April and May, and then recorded 2 one-hour webinars. They're aimed at mostly at dental assistants, certainly for the dentist and the entire dental team, but mostly for dental assistants, just basic dental technology communication. So some of our pet peeves, some of the mistakes that are made that cause remakes that we all pull our hair out over. Every dental technician has, basic impression taking, basic photography and shade communication.
That's great. And you find that the dentists are they on the webinars? You find you attract dentists?
It's funny you asked. My first webinar, I had 7 people show up. It was fantastic. And the second webinar, fewer, but it's on our website. It's recorded. It's on our website. It's never going away. Right. So somebody asks questions. Have you seen my webinar? And then my right-hand man, John Hunsinger, is also a KOL for who's the company? Oh, I forgot. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, John produced a great webinar with past president of the AACD, Jack Ringer. So they did a webinar together, and that also is recorded in our website. So that has some similarities to mine. It has some lab communication stuff in it as well. So
we'll keep it up, because
probably not enough.
It will grow, though. Keep it up. It will grow. We do the same. We have larger numbers, but we have a lot of people are interested. And of course, today this is a perfect segue into my next question I had written down. But it really is the virtual world of education, because that's where we're at. Look, we know our meetings, our lab day meetings, and the clinical meetings, they're going to be virtual for a while, and that's just the way it is. So therefore, there's a lot of education, good education, that's virtual. I mean, when labs closed, we were pumping out so much educational stuff, on through webinars and all the media, basically, and these kinds of things, conversations, and man, were they well attended. We had hundreds and hundreds of people attending these. People need information, and the downtime was a good time for it.
I got to find out how you got so many attendees. I'm gonna get your tips on that.
Okay. I say keep at it. just keep at it so
Oh, yeah.
people know that you do it routinely, and of course, obviously advertise it. But yeah. So anyway, that was a good segue because I know that you know that the shows are going to be virtual at least for a while, and that is something very different for us. But it is the nature of our situation with COVID-19. So I'm going to ask you one last question, Stephen. I ask everyone this, and it's kind of an interesting one. It's an opinion. What do you think our industry is going to look like, let's say in 2 years? 2 to 3 years. I'm not going to hold you to it. I'm going to take notes, and it better be exactly what you say. No, it's an opinion.
Yeah. Bernie, I try to stay on the cutting edge, but the real fact is that I follow the leaders and I stay in touch with leaders. And a big part of that is attending those webinars, is attending the meetings, Vision 21, Chicago Midwinter, Lab Day. That's where I get my direction and my stimulation and inspiration. Now that we are going to be in webinars, it's more important to read and stay in touch with your colleagues and friends in the industry, and certainly to read and stay abreast of what's coming. I will say this though, what I see coming in the next couple of years and where we will be is to have, as I mentioned, more digital involvement,
Yeah.
and better machines. They're always improving. Technology is always improving. And it's important that we as Killian Dental Ceramics and also every other progressive lab embrace those changes. But more importantly, you've got to stay in touch with what your clients' needs are, what's going to benefit them the most, not just your laboratory. Certainly better, faster, cheaper is always good, but quality of product can never be sacrificed in the processes. And I'm finding that in the digital workflow, it's easy to sacrifice some quality in some processes. Certainly in digital printing of models are not better than poured models and impressions in some ways. In some ways they are better, but we're looking for improvements in, printed models, milled models, where we get surface texture and high definition. I'm looking for higher definition, faster printing processes. It's disappointing now to see the layering of the printed models. I want to see that improve. Certainly, our little Sega Pico 2 UVHD is amazing quality, but it's tiny. It can't print anything significant in it except small things.
Just so you should know, we do have bigger versions.
I know you do. Look at those. Send me an email, man. Send me an email.
I will. No, I think you're right. I think the future, the next couple of years, we're going to see an increase, probably a dramatic increase in the development of digital products, because it's inevitable anyway. But I think this whole business of the virus has given it a bit of a kick in the pants, and we're going to see more and more of this come out sooner than later. So
and when bad things happen, there's always great opportunity, and we're seeing so much opportunity right now. And that opportunity obviously is to change, and so you have to embrace change and be excited about it. Right. That's part of moving ahead in the next couple of years. You have to maintain the excitement with your team, and that's a bit hard to do right now. You want to keep the molecules excited, so to speak. Everybody, you've got to be up as a team leader, as an owner. And so my brother and I, we worked our tails off when we were super slow. My brother was working 24/7 getting the PPP money and, getting our bank accounts changed over to a bank that was sensitive to us. We left a big bank for a small local bank so we could actually get PPP money. It's hard to do, but, and I got got on ideas for new printers and, pushing the iOS and getting the webinars going. We just, owners get busier. We don't have time to sit around and, that's just avoidance, to worry. You can't worry, it just does no good. You gotta turn your worry into action now.
Well, as at 110% of where you were before COVID, I'd say you're doing something right. So good on.
We're not the ones. In our group chat, our big group chat, there's about 50 owners, lab owners there. They're all pretty much doing the same as we are. They're all excited, and if you're not a part of that group, that's too bad. Build your own and talk to people, and and talk a lot about everything.
Yeah, that's important. Well, Steve, as always, great talking to you, and thank you for joining me on our Quick Takes program. We love having you and love hearing your experience about what you guys are doing, and I'm particularly happy for your success.
And if you lose that blues harpist player, I'll be right up.
Keep you in mind. Well, thanks, Steve. You take care of yourself, and say hi to Greg, and good luck. Make sure you stay healthy.
Say hi to all my friends at Whitmix, will you please?
Will do. Take care.
All right.
Bye now.